The University of California, Los Angeles, California, is one of the best hospitals in the United States, and the medical standards are quite high. In the single ward, a young man woke up slowly, and after a double image in front of him, his pupils slowly focused. He frowned and looked around, and immediately realized that he was in the hospital, seemingly lying on a hospital bed, and there was a woman next to him, but it was late at night, and the woman was also asleep. Oops. Before he could figure out what was going on, suddenly, the young man felt a sharp pain in the back of his head, and then countless images and memories appeared in his brain, and they came over like a tidal wave. After a short period of pain, the young man touched the gauze on his head and sighed.
Eve crossed.
The Traverser is from the 21st century. He is the assistant director of a crew, and the director is his third uncle. As long as he finishes filming this play, he can direct the next play independently. After getting off work that day, I had a drink with my fox friends and dog friends of the crew, but before I had time to start my directing career, I poured it on the wine table in a daze. Wake up and have successfully crossed and occupied the body of this hospital's unlucky bastard. The unlucky guy who was occupied was named Eric Cooper, a tall and handsome white guy, 22 years old this year, who just graduated from UCLA last week and is also a top student. Some people may question that it is a bit ridiculous and generous for a branch student to dare to be called a top student, but this is a mistake of common sense. Because just as different universities are good at different majors, USC is best at its film art major, while UCLA is best at economics and finance. There are as many Nobel Prizes as Fields Medal winners from here, and this school also has a title, that is, one of the public Ivies. In addition to his excellent appearance and learning ability, Eric Cooper's family conditions are just as good. Although he is not a child of a wealthy family, fortunately, his father is still competitive and now works at MGM. That's right. It's MGM Pictures with the lion's head and howling, and Eric Cooper's daddy, Charlie Cooper, is MGM's current CEO. Mother Emily Cooper is a relatively traditional housewife, usually responsible for her husband and children, and has raised Eric Cooper's brother to adulthood, and Eric Cooper is the youngest son in the family, of course, the most favored. After reading so many online articles, although my crossing results can't be said to be top-notch, they can be regarded as top-notch. Compared to those traversers who struggle from scratch, the starting point doesn't know where it goes. And the cheap dad is the CEO of MGM, although it did go bankrupt later and even has been acquired by Amazon, but it is also a big company, and it shouldn't be a big problem to help his son make a few movies. I don't have high requirements, just a small cost, a horror movie, just take the director's microphone. That microphone is what I have been longing for a long time. Eric Cooper was thinking about his situation, and as if he heard movement, the woman accompanying him suddenly woke up, and when she saw her son wake up, she couldn't help but scream, and tears immediately welled up. My God, Eric, my son, you're finally awake. Looking at the haggard face of the middle-aged woman in front of him, Eric Cooper was stunned for a moment and then calmly accepted his new identity. Now that he has crossed over, it is time to say goodbye to his past self. He gently patted his mother's back and wanted to say something comforting, but his throat was dry and hoarse due to his coma for many days. Mom, I think I need water. Emily Cooper hurriedly wiped away her tears and poured a glass of water while calling the doctor and nurse. As a man in his 20s, Eric refuses to need to be fed water by his mother. Mom, I'll do it myself. Although my head is a little dizzy, it's fine. However, Emily still stubbornly fed him, and although Eric was helpless, the patient had no right to refuse and could only accept it. He also gradually recalled the cause of his injury, which was only a fall from the Leon Terrace in his family's villa, but his head was on the second floor. There is no cervical vertebra fracture or high paraplegia, which shows that Eric Cooper's physical fitness is really good. Soon, the doctors and nurses rushed over. as the top hospital in Los Angeles, and it is a private ward, and the service attitude is still very good. After a routine examination, the attending physician, Charles, put on a constipated expression. Mr. Eric, judging from the results of the examination, although your body is relatively weak, this is normal and all indicators are in the normal range. But to be honest, I don't quite understand, with my more than 30 years of experience in medicine, like you, if you are in a coma for more than half a month, there is a high probability that you will become a vegetative person. Of course, I don't want to curse you, but this is too strange. Eric thought to himself, Lao Tzu's soul has changed, you know Adur. Dr. Charles, maybe I'm lucky, so I can be discharged? Dr. Charles hesitated and said, theoretically, yes, but I recommend staying in the hospital for observation. Well, at least for a week. Eric rolled his eyes. Since everything is normal, I don't think there is any need to observe. What I need most now is not disinfectant water, but fresh air. A series of inspections wasted more than 2 hours, and when Eric walked out of the examination room, there was a middle-aged man waiting for Emily Cooper waiting there, and a middle-aged man by her side. The man was wearing a suit, leather shoes, and even a tie, most likely from the company, and he must be working overtime. Don't think that the United States doesn't have to work overtime. Eric, my son, I'm so happy to see you wake up. Charlie Cooper walked up quickly and took her son in her arms. Be careful, Charlie, you're going to hurt him. Emily hurriedly pulled her husband away. Eric shrugged. Mom, your son isn't that fragile yet. But Charlie Cooper still hurriedly let go of his hand. It's me who is so excited. I don't even know what to say. Seriously, I've never thanked God like I do now. The doctor-patient consultation followed, and Eric strongly urged to be discharged, while Dr. Charles recommended hospitalization for observation. In the end, it was decided that it was impossible to observe for a week, and 3 days was the limit, and the Coopers felt sorry for their son, but they also respected the doctor's advice and could only compromise. Eric, on the other hand, scanned a calendar on the nurse's desk, which read May 20th, 2002. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning struck his brain. 2002, MGM, John Woo, Wind Whisperer, Groove.